Alright, today we're going to look at another MRE. This is a genuine US government MRE. And it's menu number 19, beef roast with vegetables. This one is actually already open. I used this as part of my IMP waterproof test video a while back. I'll put a link down below for that video, but this the US MREs passed the test with flying colors, and so that is the reason why this one's open. This one is from 2010. It has a date code of 0145 on it. And it was packaged on the 145th day of 2010. And this is a menu that I don't believe I've actually ever reviewed before. But it's a perfect example of how they try to make very familiar and very comforting kind of foods to put into MREs for the soldiers. Obviously in this case it's for US soldiers, so it's stuff that US soldiers will be familiar with. Things like beef roast with vegetables, also known as roast beef, spaghetti with meat sauce, meatloaf, chili mac, stuff like that. Things that are a hearty comfort food. And something that will not only give you the nutrients you need, but also a little bit of a taste from home kind of a thing. When I think of this menu, it makes me think of a big Sunday dinner. A pot roast sitting in the oven for a few hours with a bunch of vegetables and some gravy. And that certainly isn't exactly what you're getting in here, but it's something reminiscent of that. So as I said, the peelable seal, we don't need to worry about that because it's already open. So let's see what we get inside. This one was packed by MRE, and it does have the inner bag. One thing I like about this one is sometimes you'll find MRE outer bags that have a nice vacuum seal on them, and it doesn't seem to be really necessary. It doesn't seem like they're designed to have that, but when they do, it gives you an extra feeling of that your stuff is safe. And this one had the inner bag, and I don't think I've ever seen one this well sealed. Sometimes the inner bags are completely loose, sometimes they have a bit of a vacuum to them, but this one is really tight. That stuff is in there. And it conforms to the shape of the components really well. I don't know, I was really impressed with that. But it's just an inner bag, which does also have its own date code on it. Same code, 0145. And let's see what we have in this meal. It was packed a few days earlier on the 98th day of 2010. And we have our beef roast with vegetables and gravy. And the ingredients, if you want to take a look at those, quite a few things in there. In addition to the beef, it looks like we have carrots, mushrooms, diced tomatoes, potatoes, and a bunch of other things. And here are the nutrition facts if you want to take a look at those. Here's our beverage bag from this ration heater, which has its own date code too. Spoon, chocolate peanut butter, and put that on some crackers. Steak sauce for the beef roast. Cocoa beverage powder. Osmotic Cranberries. Sometimes I've had problems with the osmotic things not really holding up very well for as long as they're supposed to. So this will be a bit of a test. And, ooh, almond poppy seed pound cake. That sounds good. Accessory pack. And this one we have the Taster's Choice instant coffee. And a commercially packaged one. Chewing gum. Creamer. Sugar. Salt. Toilet paper. Moist towelette. And matches. And here's all the components for this one. Looks like a pretty good meal. I have to admit I'm a little surprised it doesn't seem to be a clear-cut what you would call a side dish. Something like this seems like it would call for maybe mashed potatoes or something. But instead we have a couple different snacks. We have the crackers with the chocolate peanut butter spread and the cranberries. And we also have a pretty clear-cut dessert with the pound cake. But considering that the beef roast only is listed as having 180 calories, you'd almost think there would be something else in there to boost it up a little bit. But that's what we got, so let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, let's start off by heating up the entree. It's going to be interesting to see. This is creeping up to be almost 7 years old right now. See how it has withstood the years. Interesting little pattern on the back of here. Beef roast with vegetables. 0098 is when this was packed, as I mentioned. And the flameless ration heater is also almost 7 years old, and these tend to lose their effectiveness after a few years. So let's see how this goes, see if we need to do the salt trick with this. Get the water into these heating elements and see if we need to do anything here. Alright, and this has been in here for about a minute. It does actually say, with heater underneath MRE, hold carton level until heater feels warm or until 1 minute elapses. So, some of them they activate really quickly, but you do have to give it a little bit of time. I'm definitely feeling heat coming off of here. I'm struggling to get the water into all these heating elements, and a couple of them aren't doing very much. There's a lot of heat down here. So I think we are going to go ahead and, since I don't do this very often, I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit of salt in there. Probably not going to need the salt for the meal anyway, since it's got so much sodium in it. And this just seems to aid in the reaction if you can get some of the salt in the water. Oh wow, yeah, that instantly got hot. That's amazing. It's pretty amazing how that tends to work. Alright, so we'll put this back into the box. And we'll rest that at an angle on a rock or something. Give that about 10 minutes and see how it does. Alright, first we'll take a look at the crackers. See if we have a hiss with this one. Yeah, the release, but not much of a hiss. And these smell fine, just some dry crackers. And the chocolate peanut butter. I already gave this a good kneading because you want to make sure these things are mixed up good. It smells good. A little bit like Nutella. And check these Osmotic Cranberries. Feel kind of solid in here. Sound kind of solid too. Ooh, they don't smell like cranberries. Funny, they actually smell more like crackers than anything. No. Let's see how they did. And the last thing left to eat is the almond poppy seed pound cake, which I'm hoping survive good because that sounds like something that's going to be really good. Looks fine. It smells fine. We'll do the coffee. Taster's choice. There's a little thing for tearing, but it doesn't. There it goes. Smells fine. Creamer. And sugar. And then we have our cocoa beverage powder. We do have the hot beverage bag, which could have been for the coffee or for the cocoa beverage powder, but since it comes in this contour pouch here, you don't really need to use that. Instead, you just tear it off at the top. And I'm not going to add 6 ounces of water. It can be either cold or hot. And it does give you a little fill line on the outside to help. I'm using hot this time, so it's a little bit uncomfortable. seal that top back up and give that a nice shake. Seems to be less frothy when it's hot. And that just leaves us with our beef roast with vegetables and gravy, which did not get terribly hot. But the salt gave it a little bit of a boost, but I think the FRH was just kind of tired. It's a little bit on the old side. So let me just wipe this off. Yeah, this seems to be warm at best. Actually, at the bottom it's pretty much cold. So, mix it up a little bit, but it's going to be basically a lukewarm kind of thing. Let's check it out though. Smells fine. It's a little bit gelatinous there, a little clumped together since it's still on the cool side. Alright, and it actually does look really good. It has a lot of, the beef is actually, it's like a big chunk. It's kind of broken up a little bit, but you can see here it's like real meat. Doesn't seem to be all overly processed. There's a couple, this is a couple big chunks in there. Yeah, look at the size of this. This is it's actually kind of nice. I thought it was going to be all little teeny chunks, but it's pretty good. And you get potatoes and carrots in the gravy. That's really all that I recognize. Maybe some tomatoes. There's some mushrooms. A little bit of mushroom. Yep. Make it seem like real food. And let's go ahead and try this out. And we get a little bit of everything in here. Guessing it's going to be better if it's even hotter, but we did what we could with the FRH. Yeah, it tastes good. It's salty. Definitely doesn't need any extra salt. Quite similar to the beef stew, just with bigger chunks of beef. It's really good though. Very hearty. Very much a comfort food. Wash it down with some of the coffee. Which is standard instant coffee. Nothing wrong with it. I want to see if these cranberries are edible. They're definitely dry. I mean, it's a dried fruit, but they're usually a lot moister than this. Yeah, they don't really even taste like cranberries. It's odd. Something about the osmotic process. It's been the same with the raisins I've had. It doesn't stand up, even though they're in the retort pouch. It seems like it's designed to help them, but it may keep them from going rotten, but it doesn't keep them fresh, I would say. And the chocolate peanut butter. It seems like it's going to be pretty good. And yes, that is a nice change from the plain peanut butter. It's nice to get something different. And it tastes good. The chocolate isn't overpowering, but it does add a little something extra. And now the almond poppy seed pound cake. It's a little bit oily on the bottom, but it seems to have dried out somewhat on the top. It's still pretty moist. I'm not expecting any problems with this one, despite being almost 7 years old. Let some give to it. That's very good. I don't know if chocolate peanut butter would go very well with almond poppy seed, but since we have it, let's try it. I think it's better on its own, and the peanut butter has the problem that plain peanut butter has. It makes you thirsty. Cocoa beverage powder, as usual, is very good. A little bit surprising that they didn't give a fruit beverage in here, an orange or a lemon lime, something like that. And so I guess the last thing to do is try a little of this steak sauce on this beef roast. Let me see if I can have a sweet steak sauce. Let me try that out. Yeah, that's good. Tastes a little bit like A1. Kind of makes it seem more like steak, but to be honest, I really thought the beef roast was fine on its own. Some things you do need to have something to add to it, make it more palatable. But I thought this was actually very good on its own. So I was looking at everything that was in here, but I actually have one last thing, kind of a special surprise. We have a special guest taster. All right, Neil, you gonna try this out?
Sure.
Yeah, as I was filming, Mrs. gschultz9 came in, and she's actually willing to try some of the stuff out and give her opinion. So we'll have an unbiased opinion, somebody who isn't a huge fan of MREs. Is that safe to say?
Oh, yes.
All right.
That is very true.
All right, so what we have here is we have beef roast with vegetables. Mm-hmm. We have Osmotic Cranberries, which I don't think I'm going to have you try.
Ooh,
We have a almond poppy seed pound cake, which is very good. Crackers with chocolate peanut butter. Mm-hmm. Instant coffee and hot cocoa.
Okay.
All right. You can try however you like. And I do have to warn you that this meal is close to 7 years old, which I know gives you some pause to to think, but
Is my will
but I've
all
already
in place?
I've already tried everything, and
All right,
you
let me
should
try the
survive.
coffee since I could use a little
Yeah,
boost.
and you'd be a much better judge of coffee than me because I'm not a coffee drinker and you are.
Okay.
Oh, and just to let you know, this is taster's choice, so it may be better than some of the other ones you've tried.
Is that actually the flavor's pretty good on the coffee? It seems a little watered down, but is that the
Maybe I added too much water. I don't know. Basically, so it's pretty much make.
No.
Oh, this says add to 6 fluid ounces, so it was about what it should have been.
Okay.
And it does have creamer and sugar in it too. I know you like yours black, but it does have that.
yeah, but good coffee flavor.
Okay.
Okay. Let me try this thing. I'm going in a weird order, but
Dessert first. Nothing wrong with that.
okay. So there's almond. It's almond, is what I taste.
Yeah, it's almond poppy seed.
Yeah.
Pound cake.
Definitely almond flavor coming in. It's actually, it's surprisingly moist. I didn't think it would be, but okay. Unlike the way that looks, that does not look moist.
Yeah. This. Let me try a little bit more just to.
Oh my gosh.
Why don't you take a whiff of it? You don't have to try it, but take a
Okay.
whiff of that loaf right there. It doesn't smell much like cranberries, does it?
Not really. It smells like.
It almost tastes like candy.
Does it?
Like musty candy. I mean, not a good taste. Not something that I would really enjoy eating, but it's really it kind of has candied over the years, I guess.
It smells like a centerpiece that someone would have on dried flowers and fruit around Thanksgiving.
There you go. Yeah, that's,
Not appetizing.
sounds about right. Maybe we should save it for Thanksgiving. Put it out in the middle of the table.
Okay, so all right, I'll try the.
This right here has steak sauce on it, so if you want to try it without it, you can
Okay.
go up here.
And the steak sauce came with.
Yes, it did.
Okay. All right.
A little bit of the gravy there.
That's not horrible. Oh, honey, there's no way I'm getting into this whole portion, sir. Is it easy to cut?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Oh yeah.
pretty tender.
It is how many years old?
7.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's beef roast, so it's like a like a pot roast kind of thing.
The steak sauce gives it a little kick. So it's an added. Oh, I don't think I can try more of that. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, the
oh,
flavor was good. It's just the.
I'm sorry, I actually had gotten you another spoon, so you didn't have
Oh,
to use
you
the same
did?
one that I
Oh,
used. But
okay.
I mean, we
Thank
are
you.
married, so I guess it's okay.
Oh, sorry.
But I actually prefer this without the steak sauce. But
Yeah,
of course,
it is. It's definitely edible. I'll try a little bit more of the gravy, but I just can't bring myself to taste more of the meat. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, it's good to get a different opinion because I tend to like almost all these things anyway. So it's good to hear somebody else's opinion.
I mean, the potato is definitely broken down. It's not.
It was.
It doesn't hold. It's.
It apparently was a dehydrated potato.
Which that makes sense. But a little bit of tomato too. Maybe there's tomato paste in
Yeah,
this.
the tomato paste is carrots, mushrooms, diced tomatoes, and it's funny because all those things they just say carrots, mushrooms, diced tomatoes, and then dehydrated diced potatoes.
Yeah,
Which is kind of
those
a surprise.
don't work at all.
I have to admit I didn't really notice any difference.
Of course not. All right. So this bad boy.
Peanut butter, yeah.
Okay. So is chocolate and peanut butter?
It
kind of looks
chocolate
like
peanut butter, like peanut butter with chocolate in it, basically.
Okay. Kind of looks like Nutella.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the word because I wanted you to see if you taste it, but it's kind of like a Nutella type of thing, but it's not hazelnut.
That cracker is, yes, showing its age. I'm just gonna try this.
Okay.
It's not bad though. It's still crispy.
Yeah, no, I've had bad crackers and they're a lot worse than that.
I like this stuff.
Alright, so that was
Nothing wrong with this right now.
Looks like the chocolate peanut butter and the pound cake are probably your favorite things in here, and you're not really a sweet tooth person.
No, I prefer salty things. All right, shall I try the hot cocoa? Does it need a mix?
I can give it a little stir.
It looks like it's separated a bit.
Yeah, it makes sense to give it a fair shot.
Yeah, the coffee's not really that bad. I mean,
Okay.
I'm a fan of
Okay,
dried coffee anyway. Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, so the hot cocoa has an interesting smell. Did you smell it?
I wonder if it's because I made it hot. I usually have it cold, actually. And this is something that have been in MREs and even sea rations before it for decades. And it's like a classic and something that generally never goes bad.
Yeah, no, it tastes fine.
Oh, you know what? I actually had this with some chocolate peanut butter on it, but I didn't think to do this, too.
Yeah, that would work. Definitely. As long as they don't lose half of it. That'd be good. All right. Well, I have to say, like this, the chocolate peanut butter, I'm a big fan. That's a winner for me.
Scraping it right off the cracker. It's
Yep.
good. It's a good sign.
And so, I mean, it's got peanut butter in it, so protein too, so that's good. All right. You know what? I'm surprised. This really did surprise me. I didn't think it would be as fresh tasting. I mean, it's definitely.
Yeah,
you see
I'd like to
the,
see if I could get my hands on a fresher one.
You see the loser here.
Yeah. So that was the winner for you.
I think so.
Second place.
Yep.
Coffee third place, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Cocoa beverage fourth, and the main dish least.
I actually, it's a tie between the cocoa and the main dish being in last place. I don't. Just me personally, there was something about the smell about the cocoa, but it tasted fine.
I'm so used to it. I've been drinking this for forever, and like I said, I don't usually put hot water in it. And with cold water, it can basically taste like chocolate milk. It smells like it too. So, yeah, it's a little bit different with the hut.
And is this an American MRE?
Yep, this was a genuine U.S. MRE.
Cool. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching. That was a review of an MRE, menu number 19, beef roast with vegetables from 2010. Going back for some more?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't stay away from the almond. I just had to check the consistency. You know what? It was like it's not a spongy cake, but there is something comforting about the texture. Like it's very, it's moist, but not too moist.
It's got some sweetness to it.
Definitely got sweetness.
It's not overkill, I don't think.
No, it's a good balance, and I like it. You know, it's nowhere near as dry as like a sponge cake could be or something. I mean, it's a dense cake, but
they put a lot of R&D into that over the years because they had these in the first MREs and they were good, but I think they've done a lot to improve them and improve how they're made so that they'll last longer without, like you say, without getting totally dried out. They do have the oxygen absorber in them to keep them safe, but that you would think that would lend to drying them out, but it tends to just extend the life. And yeah, they're usually pretty good. All right, that final thoughts?
No, I think that says it all.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Thanks, hon.
Come on. Are you serious?